Hey travelers, after a short stay in Bangkok during monsoon season, it's now time to fly home to New York. I'm hoping this weather cooperates. So that went pretty well. The check-in at the airport counter started at 7:40. It's now 8:30, so it took 50 minutes for me to get through security, immigration, and the airport counter all together. Now I have about 3 hours to hang out, so I'm going to walk around the airport, stop by a lounge, relax. This trip will be operated in 2 segments, about 5.5 hours from Bangkok to Incheon, and another 14.5 from Incheon to New York. In between, I chose to have a 12.5-hour layover in Incheon, where I plan to take a free transit tour of Seoul. Let's get this trip started. I did a lot of research on the lounges here at BKK, and the one that I think is the best is the one I went to last time, which is the Miracle First Class Lounge at Gate D6. It is both a Priority Pass lounge and a Lounge Buddy lounge, so you can get your way in here no matter what method you have. When you start seeing all these lounge signs is when you know you're close to them. So the escalators are by D8, you take them down and head to D6. I've done a video on this lounge before, and I'm going to pop it up right on the top right here, but I'll still do a little update for you too. There's the lounge, and it's absolutely empty. I can't wait. The Miracle First Class Lounge by D6 is my absolute favorite. It is one of the more up-to-date non-alliance lounges in the airport that still has all the comforts of a good lounge. There are plenty of self-serve food and drink options, and even an on-duty chef that can prepare traditional Thai dishes for you. There are also plenty of private seating areas full of outlets. Away from the dining area is the other side of the lounge, and this side is actually empty and quiet. Except for the people yelling down there, because it's open air. But we still have a bar here, we still have snacks here. So I'm just gonna sit down on the couch, charge up, and have a drink. Cheers. So I guess this is a good time to talk about that. So I'll be in Incheon for like 14 hours, and I booked a 5-hour transit tour. I'll be getting in around 6:30, 7 o'clock, and by the time I check in, it might be around 8. And so I signed up for the 10 to 3 tour, which is the 5-hour city tour that should include a couple of temples, a walking street bazaar, and maybe some food. Depending on how much time I have before that tour and after that tour, I might do another 1-hour tour, but I wanted to keep in mind that I will likely want to shower before my 14-hour flight back to New York, and also get something to eat. So Incheon does offer free showers and a la carte food, but there are also some good lounges, so see how I feel and how much time I actually have. It was a great lounge visit. Now it's time to head from D6 to G2. D6 to G2. We'll be flying 777-300ER today, which is my favorite. My first flight will be operated by a 4-year-old 777W in a 3-class configuration. There are 8 first-class lounges in the front, 42 prestige sleeper seats, and 227 economy seats in a 3-3-3 configuration. I'll be in 39J. Overnight pad. Headphones off his back. Pillow. And a blanket. The seat comes with plenty of legroom and an underseat power outlet. However, no air vents. The good news is that there's no seat in between us. The bad news is that there's so much compensation in glass. I don't know if I can take an actual takeoff video. There's a G90 out there somewhere. This 5.5-hour red-eye flight will offer one meal service about 3 to 4 hours in. After settling in at cruising altitude, the lights were dimmed for sleep. After a little nap, we were over the East China Sea just in time for sunrise. Now it was time for meal service.
So we have egg omelette, chicken, Korean rice porridge. Rice porridge.
I got the rice porridge, which we'll see more of later. This is going to be a long day, so coffee was absolutely essential. Overall, my trip on the 777 was great. I managed to get some good sleep on board, the service by the crew was phenomenal, and that landing was smooth as silk. I've been on all of the Korean Air wide bodies, and this is definitely my favorite. We pulled into Incheon's beautiful Terminal 2, which is what Korean Air operates out of. Because I plan to take a free Korean transit tour, I did not directly transfer like other connecting passengers. Instead of going through security in the transfer area, I checked in at the tour desk and proceeded through customs and immigration and then out to the arrivals area for my tour. If you're interested to know more about the tour, check out this video, which will be linked in the description below. Back at the airport and gonna get my stuff and customs and immigration and then a shower. So security, customs and immigration, all pretty simple, straightforward. I was through in 10 minutes, not even. What I like is that they have the automated passport control for immigration, so you've done your thumbprint and everything on the way in. All you have to do is scan your ID, your passport rather, and your fingerprint, and you're through. Awesome. I've showered. I feel brand spanking new. Time to hit the terminal. Terminal 2 was gorgeous. The terminal had a number of shops, but also a lot of artistic and performance spaces. Throughout the day, the airport provided musical performances and culture parades for passengers. The terminal itself was very easy to navigate, but also offered informational robots and interactive maps throughout the terminal. There were even free baby strollers in case anybody needed one. There were only a couple of lounges available to Priority Pass members. I ended up at the Matina lounge because it seemed to have better food and beverage selections than the other lounges. The lounge was fairly large, but also extremely busy. There was a pretty substantial food buffet with various Korean dishes. In the beverage area was a wine cooler full of the same grape and cask beer on tap. The tap wasn't properly calibrated, and everything else was meh. What was most disappointing was just how loud the lounge was. Instead of a paid airport lounge, it felt more like I was in the cafeteria at an IKEA. Headed out from the lounge. It was pretty bland. Now I am armed with some snacks and some iced coffee from 7-Eleven for later, just in case, and heading to my gate. And I can't wait to be home. My flight to New York will be operated by a 9-year-old A380. Economy class on board will be in a 3-4-3 configuration. Korean Air uses the entire upper deck for business class, while the main level is split between first class and economy. I'll be in 36A. I have never been more excited to board an A380. Korean Air provides all seats with a small bottle of water, a small sleep kit, headphones, pillow, and blanket, which was perfect because I was extremely exhausted. Like the 777, the A380 had no personal air vents, but did offer great legroom and an underseat power outlet. The economy sleep kit came with a pair of slippers and a toothbrush and toothpaste kit. Korean Air did not offer eye masks. The IFE on the A380 offered a wide selection of Western and Korean movies, shows, games, and music. Again, like my inbound A380 flight, this IFE was a bit slaggy at times. This was not a problem on the A330 or 777. Korean Air also does not offer in-flight Wi-Fi service because they did not want passengers to be disappointed with how slow it was. As of 2019, this was still the case. According to Korean Air's website, international flights to the USA follow the same itinerary: a heavy meal just after takeoff, a snack service about midway through, and a second meal just before landing. Time for takeoff. The first meal service began about an hour in. Korean Air is famous for its bibimbap, which came with beef, rice, and assorted vegetables. I've had it many times before, so I went with the beef, with potatoes and vegetables, which was pretty good. Every meal is served with metal utensils. After meal and duty-free service, crew dimmed the lights and asked for all of our window shades to be shut. It was time for some necessary sleep. I slept for hours and apparently missed snack service completely. When I finally woke up, the cabin lights began to brighten for the final meal service. The crew came around with hot scented towels for every passenger. It was a nice way to power back up. After the towels were collected, it was time for the last meal.
Rice porridge.
Again, I opted for the rice porridge, which came with pickles, fresh fruit, and some crunchy bits on top. It was a soothing end to a long flight. Our approach to New York began right after meal service.
So ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain speaking. We expect to land at New York John F. Kennedy International Airport in about 40 minutes. Thank you for flying with us today. 고맙습니다.
Overall, the flight on the A380 was good, although I didn't feel as comfortable as I did on previous flights. The cabin of the A380 is pretty quiet, so I didn't hear much discernible engine noise. It was also a very smooth ride, which, for me, felt less like it was on an airplane and more like I was in a soft chair with a lot of white noise. The gentle service by the crew was phenomenal, and actually felt more personable than on many other carriers. I would absolutely fly them again. If you found this video useful, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to us on here and on Instagram. It really helps us a lot. Until next time, bye!